Did they ever make a strategy guide for Hey You Pikachu?
They did. Just one. Japan only.
You just talk to it.
Here are the things Pikachu will not respond to. Bitch.
Bradley. This is.
Have you ever like heard when they do like recordings with that microphone? And it's like, it's amazing that Pikachu would be responsive at all, because any recording you hear is just like...
It translates it to Pikachu's language.
I just found out today, because I posted a Hey You Pikachu thing, that it hates non-American English speakers.
No.
Apparently all of Europe
I
had
heard
a
of this.
huge problem with like words based on how they say them. So things like Pokédisc and Bulbasaur didn't register. People be just yelling
Yo,
at
wanka.
the TV for a half hour without being able to get Pikachu to do the things they wanted.
That's hilarious. Bulbasaur.
Oi, Pikachu, could you grab me a biscuit, boy?
That's it, Bulbasaur, yes.
And then Pikachu just kills himself.
Blows its own brains out. Oh my god.
Oh, I found another duck though, Aaron.
Oh fuck yeah! Show me that duck. Hell
I
yeah,
thought that was
dude.
fucking real at first. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's holds up a real duck.
I was like, why are you finding wild ducks?
Well, you missed all the other ducks that we were showing.
Yeah, that's the Midwest, my man. You guys are missing out. I don't know where Jiggy lives though, but you're missing out, Gerry.
I'm Gerry. Jiggy?
Well,
No.
right. I don't know where Jiggy lives, but you're missing out, Gerry,
Oh,
because you're
Jerry.
in Canada. You're not in the Midwest.
I don't care.
Oh, one of those.
Whatever.
I used to be a Midwesterner.
Oh,
Now I'm an East Coaster.
god damn it!
I was an East Coaster. Now I'm
Did I took
Western.
an arrow to the knee?
I was born 7 miles from here.
Just
No,
like on the
yeah.
side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
Well, we
giving
just-
real locations, just approximations.
We discovered on the last episode of Retro Rehab that Aaron has never seen the ocean.
Fuck, dude. Stop
And then
calling
I
me
told him
out.
Sucks.
I told him that his parents should have just brought him to fucking Michigan and just lied. I've been like, yeah, that's the ocean right there. There you go.
I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah, you can trick a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are dumb.
Aaron was 23.
They had those little backpacks with a leash on me. Like I'm just big old 23-year-old. Like
I always loved going to like an amusement park and just seeing some fucking lady named Cheryl trying to control her kids, and they're like on leashes and shit, and she's just screaming at them, and they're covered in fucking ice cream. Oh man,
ice cream and Mountain Dew and shit, dude.
those kids are definitely grown up to
Dead.
be in jail.
They're dead.
If you can't, you gotta throw your fucking kid on a leash.
Very entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they made it to the ocean, though.
Well, ocean. I'm doing air quotes. Yeah.
Your camera's on.
Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Aaron. I have a hard time digesting dairy,
And I'm Gerry, and I have a really hard time breathing underwater.
and you're listening to SuperPod Saga. I'm checking the text because my Best Buy order is on the way. Cool. Hey, yeah, this is SuperPod Saga. Hi, everybody. Hey, this is the thanks. Fuck, thanks for joining us. I fell asleep putting my kid to sleep, so I'm like not totally here yet. I still have yet to awaken from the shadow realm completely.
Not
But
coherent.
yeah, not at all. But yeah, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Have a seat, sit on down, cop a squat. This is SuperPod Saga, the show where we discuss a different video game topic each week with different guests or guests, and we discuss, or no, I already said we discuss a different topic. This time we're discussing the N64, the Nintendo with 64 bits or polygons or dollars. I forget which one it is. Is it 64 bits? Am I alone?
Who are you
Is
asking?
it 64 bits?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's
Sure.
just like Hollywood Squares. We don't respond unless our name is pointed to or our chair is lit up somehow.
We need to have
Circle against the square.
we'd have a bingo card for like every like game show or other pop culture nonsense we reference on this show, or like retro rehab, I have never once ever thought about Hollywood Squares until today. God bless you, Mike.
Doing my best.
But yeah, before we get to talking
That's
about things,
that's the peak. That's as good as it gets tonight. I might just leave.
just Hollywood Squares. We'll get a Whoopi Goldberg reference in there.
He used his best joke at the top of the show. God damn it.
Yep.
Really
I blew all of my Sarah McLachlan references on the way in too. So
oh yeah, oh my fucking god, dude. Oh, that was so good. Mike walks in. Hollywood Squares, and then just belts it the fuck back out. But yeah, Nintendo 64. So before we get to that, let's introduce. First off, yeah, the new. I think this will be the first episode where Jerry's officially the new co-host. Hello, Jerry.
Official. Facebook official. We're now in a complicated relationship.
It's very
Facebook.
complicated. It's what's very tantric. Lots of tantric. I don't know.
Are you a throuple because you have 2 shows too?
Oh yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah,
very very
or did
open.
They become one show? Like, did you like who won SuperPod Saga and the divorce of the other show? Then?
Well, Tommy walked away amicably. Thank fuck. So I got everything. He got a kid,
but I'll take him to the cleaners when we're done.
I'll drop him into a grave. I don't know, man. Yes, yeah, Jerry, new co-host. Hello, Jerry. Jerry will be here through the whole episode, of course, because he's the co-host. Yeah, that's how podcasts work. Then joining us,
most of the time.
Yeah. Returning from I think episode. It was the handheld ports episode. I forget the number, but Mike is back. Hello, Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Hello, yeah, #1 cat fan. It says so on his title that I put there.
I am. My cat's just one's looking at me right now. That's your cat.
Yeah, there's an orange one right there.
Yep.
But yeah.
Got a cat.
For anyone that doesn't know, Mike runs the Quest 64 official Twitter channel. It's fucking mind-blowingly hilarious stuff. Sorry, I didn't graduate. Yeah, really good stuff.
You only got your grade 10.
Well, yeah, Mike, go ahead and plug anything at all that you want. Streams, maybe other shows that you've been on, or whatever it is you do. Go ahead and plug away, my man.
The only thing I have to plug today is, once again, somebody else's stuff, because I don't do anything. But I sent you a link earlier, which hopefully will be included with the episode somehow. But we have a friend on Twitter, Default BNB, or Kiwi on Twitter, and he's doing a whole website for just Nintendo 64 that's going to be like 50% collection and then 50% blogging and articles, and able to track your purchase prices and of the games you've bought, and then against the prices that they're running for in the market now. Reviews, homebrew stuff, development, Q&A chats, everything. And then
holy shit.
Wow. A friend of mine, Josette's Trinkets, and then my account. We've been doing strategy guide stuff for a while, so we're going to try to include all of our strategy guide research onto there too. So it's not just a tracking of cartridges and stuff, but we'll also have strategy guides and like things that were released with games, pre-order bonuses. So trying to do a new comprehensive Nintendo 64 site to get away from what Google is telling people about Nintendo 64, which is usually wrong.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious
really cool.
when you shouted out Jeff Gertzman for his review of Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time. It's super fun.
I was like, what the fuck? Jeff Gertzman is in this chat?
Yeah, people think that I'm like serious based just on 6.3. Yeah, just based on like follower count. It makes it look like I'm very serious and know what I'm talking about. And I found that I can get all sorts of people to respond to things. Like Chris Seaver follows me now, and like we talk everybody. Yeah, so we just talk about things.
They actually think you are actually Quest 64 official.
It kind of feels that way, even though it's very clear that that's not the case. But like, it's not my job to like differentiate between what an official account would do and what a non-official account would do. That's not on me. Like,
well, it's funny because like when I first discovered you on Twitter, I was like, man, this Quest 64 official account is out of control. Like, whoever's running Quest, and then I was like, wait, why would there be a Quest 64 official account? And I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it.
But see, you haven't gotten to the fourth level of thinking where I'm self-aware of what a terrible account would be, and I do work for Imagineer, and I know what Twitter wants. So I've gone past the hill of being an out-of-control account, and I'm actually right in the pocket of what people are asking for.
Fucking Christ.
There's so many layers. There's so many layers. And there, you know what? Don't take this the wrong way, but there should never be this many layers to Quest 64. Never. But
we're just getting started. There's like we're just on like the third peel of the onion right now. It just gets worse the deeper we go too. So
that's true. The one question I have though, do you stand behind Quest 64 as much as you pump out on this on the Twitter account?
Yeah, have you never seen this shrine that's in my living room?
I have not.
Oh, well, I'll have to send you a picture of that later with me like half naked next to it. There's a large there's a large Nintendo 64 and Quest 64 shrine that was negotiated into our living room when we moved into this house. So that sits right next. Like, yeah, we have it's right next to our sectional. I look at it every day. It's my favorite game. Like I said.
And I can confirm for the listeners, he does have an uncanny resemblance to Brian. Cowlick and all.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I would never say. Why would I ever say no to that? No, absolutely not.
I think my all-time favorite Quest 64 official meme is the one where it's like, I might fuck it up, but I think it's like, in this house we don't have Netflix and chill. We have banquet chicken pot pies and anal. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's the way to do it.
That was actually focus group by Imagineer in 2001 as they were looking towards releasing another Game Boy Color port. We found out that banquet chicken pot pies were really popular with the 28 to 35 male audience of Quest 64. So.
And anal.
We're just covering all the bases with the anal.
Holy shit. And coming onto the show for the first time. Hold on.
What a segue. What a segue. What a segue.
Yeah,
Speaking of anal.
Oh, fuck, man. Jiggylookback is on the show for the first time. Hello, Jiggy.
Yo, what's up? Anal?
Yeah.
I mean, Jiggylookback does kind of sound like something like a porn star move. Like, shit, you want me to do that Jiggylookback?
Yeah, that's the reference, right?
It's a move. It's a move.
Thanks for having me. For once in a while. Introduce yourself without the anal, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no anal. Just family friendly content. YouTube. Make tons of videos about Nintendo 64 and Rare specifically. Lots of Rare stuff. I don't know if people see this background, but Conquer, DK, Banjo, those are my things. Love Rare so much. Yep. It's pretty much all my account's dedicated to, even though I do cover other games. I always come back to Rare.
Hell yeah, man. It's hard to beat Rare. Really. So I mean, that was like their prime, right? Like the SNES and the N64. Like, it didn't get much better than that for them.
90s, early 2000s. I mean, I'd still support them if they made anything other than Sea of Thieves.
Well, it's funny because like I got excited when I seen that Perfect Dark trailer, and I was like, "Oh, Rare's not attached to this at all." Like,
I know that was
because I seen like what was it, like Crystal Dynamics or something, or like one of those companies.
Crystal Dynamics, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Wait, what? When the fuck did they acquire the rights to Perfect Dark?" Because like Rare is still a company. They make Sea of Thieves, which is, you know what? I'll give Sea of Thieves its flowers. I played a bit of that, and it's come a long way since what it started off as, because it started off like fucking dog trash. But now it's actually really fun to just hang out with your homies and just like fucking tear up the seas and just loot people, innocent, poor people that are just trying to get their treasure.
The thing about it has a lot of that like old Rare charm that makes it special, but it's also this game where you go in and create your own adventures. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of how I played Rare games growing up too, so it kind of brings it back for me. But it's just like you've been supporting that game for like 10 years now without any new product whatsoever. And I'm like, come on, where's Everwild? Where is that? That game looked cool. We need to know more about that.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, they announced it. It looked really cool.
It does look really cool.
Just look it up. Just look it up.
You can turn into animals and shit.
Just don't give us Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts too. We don't need it.
Man.
There's not a world that needs that.
Hey man, Nuts and Bolts was not that bad.
Nuts and Bolts was not that bad, but it's not Banjo 3E.
That's true.
So when do we get that?
3E.
3E. If they call it anything else and they actually release a Banjo game, that sucks.
Speaking of nuts, let's do the Discord Q&A. Now that we're all introduced, yeah, N64, everybody's here, party of 4. Yeah, Discord Q&A. We're gonna take a quick break. Listen to some tunes. We'll be right back.
I'm sorry, you didn't point at me again.
Oh, my bad. Here, you're to my right, so I'll do this. Am I pointing to you?
Thank you. Yeah, I got it. No, I'm already on the other page. I can't see you now.
Oh my fucking god! Yes, time for the Discord Q&A. We're off to an awesome start. My camera's working again. Hopefully, it got everything that Jiggy and Gerry was saying. Because if not, I'm gonna fucking rage. God damn it, Riverside. Yeah, so
it should be okay.
Yeah. So over this segment of the show, I asked the Discord server a question related to the topic, and then people answer in the Discord server, and then we read it out on the show. That's the segment. That's the show. I asked the server, what are your favorite games, memories, or anything else with the N64? Anything at all that you loved about it? And the very first one, Ho-Cham, he immediately says, best N64 memory for me has to be staying home from school for a holiday and playing Pokemon Snap. First time I discovered the little electrode that you explode to open a new path, my mind was blown. And also stumbling on the first hidden Pokemon clues in the next level. Didn't actually find all of them until a lot later on in life, but that sense of discovery in childhood was sick. Fuck yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Pokemon Snap is my favorite first-person shooter on the N64.
Very bold statement, but one that I'll stand by as well. That's really good. Don't you have to throw apples at that electrode to make them explode, or the berries, whatever they call them?
Yeah, from first person. Yeah. That wasn't a joke.
No,
I was kind of serious about that. But
I mean, yeah, it does.
It's a rail shooter.
I don't like how you guys all laughed at me when I said it.
No, I mean,
yeah. I mean, you could tell me I'm wrong, but I'll just tell you that you're wrong about me being wrong. So we know where this goes. It leads to a Twitter account. So.
Well, you know what, Mike? You can do the next one then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Thrak, best buddy of mine and of the show. The wrestling games for it, mainly WCW NWO Revenge and WWF No Mercy, are still fantastic. Outside of that, it's an alright console, but I find it to be one of the most overrated consoles of all time.
Get him out of here.
And then he picked the one of the more overrated wrestling games because every other all the other THQ wrestling games after that fixed the rotate the stick kick out of every pin thing that Revenge had. If you do either WrestleMania 2000, either the Virtual Pros or No Mercy, it's a lot more, competitive it's a lot more competitive multiplayer because you can't just play the whole game for a submission or.
I used to play Revenge a lot. It was like a top rental for me just because King of the Ring. We just did the Battle Royale King of the Ring thing. And it was dude after dude after dude just coming out. You get eliminated and then you just immediately start playing as somebody else. And it was ridiculous.
You can't say dude after dude just coming out and not expect me to get a little
especially after we just talked about anal too.
Yeah, man. Dudes after dudes.
I remember my brother and I played this all the time. When we weren't playing that piece of shit Rugrats board game thing, we played this.
Scavenger Hunt.
Yeah. Why did you have that?
We were dumb fucking kids, man. But yeah, we played. I forget which wrestling game it was, but I only ever played as. Is it Sting or the Sting? I forget. I only ever played as him.
Sting.
Yeah.
Just Sting.
No, the Sting.
The Crow. The Crow.
Yeah, the Sting. Hello, Mr. The Sting. Please, Mr. The Sting, don't hit me with your scorpion death walk.
I'm gonna clip this and then tag him on Twitter. He'll answer.
I'll fucking kick his ass. He's old and senile now. Take it to the.
He just retired. He's like 63.
Oh, wasn't? Yeah, he was in like the ECW, wasn't he?
Oh shit.
AEW. He was in.
Either way, he could still absolutely obliterate Aaron.
Okay, Gerry, you can read the next one. Hurry, please.
Matt, Stormageddon. 2 things. First, the Buck Bumble title screen music is the best ever. I concur. No question. That shit slaps. 2, the magical feeling of getting home and playing Super Mario 64 for the first time is still unparalleled to almost any other experience I've ever had. It was pure magic and set me on my path for not just loving video games and wanting to know more about them, but wanting to share my love for them with other people and talk about them as well. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Matt shared a story like that on Retro Rehab. It was really good.
Hell yeah.
I just
That's a
did.
good one, man.
Just came to a head for my yearly dive into trying to figure out who the guy who sang the lyrics on Buck Bumble is, which I do every year and never ever figure it out. So. In case you didn't watch me struggle with that on Twitter for 2.5 days. We know that Justin Chernova is the guy that did the music, but the guy that is DJ Cisco, who does the right about now it's time, like does the lyrics, came into the studio. Yeah. He just came into the studio as Cisco and nobody got his real name. So he's not credited anywhere. And there's like, only a billion DJ Ciscos. And so I found some people who like used to be in the drum and bass group with him, and nobody's heard from him. They're like, oh no, he just like disappeared. Like the last 3 people heard from him are like, yeah, we have no idea where he is. So I'm like, oh cool, does anybody have his name? They're like, no. So this has happened to me at least 3 times in my N64 life now, where I've got as far as I could trying to figure out dude's name so I could like virtually.
Could you imagine if it was the Cisco of the Thong Song? Just like
I checked it, we have run it back and it's not him.
I imagine that he like
just based on where he was at the time.
After he recorded that shit for Buck Bumble, he walked out of the studio like the end of the Breakfast Club and like faded into obscurity. Like that was his like his Breakfast Club or whatever.
Yeah, he went into that studio and he just murdered that track.
Yeah, he did.
And
that's the other flip side of the coin is what if he like walked out and then that was it? Like he never wanted to be famous, and now I'm like trying to like dig this guy's grave up, and like he wants no part of Buck Bumble. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm either gonna be like a hero or the worst guy ever for finding him if I ever find him.
I just picture this as like this very dramatic like thriller where you're like rushing through the streets, like you finally just figured out the identity, and you're like banging on his door, and you're like, don't do it, man, don't do it, and you like kick in his door, and he's got a like gun to his head, and he's like, I never wanted to be Buck Bumble. And you're like, just don't do it, man. The world needs to know.
You've got a blanket around him, and you're like cuddling him by the fire, and you slip a copy of Buck Bumble into his pocket or something.
I'm like, right about now, it's time to rock. Let's rock to sleep.
It's like the Hail Hydra meme. Like,
so anyway, if anybody out there knows who DJ Cisco is, either do or do not review his identity depending on how well you know him. But the people that he used to work with are looking for him.
Rat his ass out. Mike's looking
they just
for
want
him.
to know if he's okay.
Mike's got a hit out for him.
Got his fit.
Yeah, this all sounds really cordial, but he actually owes me like $43.
Mike's got his like just a picture of Buck Bumble on like milk cartons and just like, have you heard Cisco?
Oh fuck!
I was actually buying copies of the Thong Song LP and sliding Buck Bumble lyrics into them and taking them back to half price books in hopes that any of the Cisco crossover people would be able to also identify him, but that hasn't yielded any fruit either. So
I love the lengths you've gone to discover who this band is.
Mm-hmm. It's rough, dude. My life is a wreck.
I love how you said at the beginning you don't do anything, but here you are you're going full fucking X-Files trying to figure out this enigma, this like illusion of a person.
But who could you explain this to who would be like, that's an accomplishment?
Me!
Like, oh, you just
This guy. Like,
okay,
cool
so
as shit.
all right, so I do stuff that this show likes, and then I go back to delivering mail and doing nothing.
Hey, Jiggy. Hey, can
Yo,
you
hey,
read the one from Distorted Rules that Gerry skipped over?
yeah, Pokemon Stadium and all the one-liners from there.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like Pokemon
I
Stadium.
can't think of any more.
I like Pokemon Stadium
It's
too.
super effective. That's
yeah, I'm like, what else? What else is there? It's like, oh no, he can't move.
I can.
It's funny because you almost sound exactly like the announcer.
I can hear it in my head. Like,
Is that the
very
Pokemon
distinct.
Stadium announcer right here in this podcast?
Wasn't there one time that they would be like, "What's this?"
We should just get a list of all the one-liners. That's what we should do.
We should. That'll be the whole
Yeah,
Very
episode.
easy.
The entire Pokemon Stadium transcript.
Just hitting them all on the soundboard all at once.
Fuck yeah, I might have a couple on here. I think I might. No, I don't. Here's one for you.
I was
Oh, I got one.
may he rest.
Yes.
Like, wah, taken down in one hit. Pretty good. There's a list here. Here it comes, Thunder.
Oh, there was one. What is it like when you're switching Pokemon? He's like, "Who will it be next?" That's it for me. I'm tapped.
I want a sound clip of that. Here it comes, Thunder. I'm gonna use it like next time my wife gets in bed. I'm just gonna like come out of the bathroom, and just be like, "Here it comes, Thunder." I bet you it won't go over well.
And go hobo go. He says, playing late night sessions with my ex's little brother in Perfect Dark. We would play us versus bots, and it was so much fun. I don't miss her, but I miss laughing with him, or I miss hanging with him. Okay, yeah, understandable, man. Yeah, exes suck.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Dark fucking rules, though. I mean, Pokemon Snap is cool, but I really liked all the cool secondary fires. You had all the cool guns in the cool game Perfect Dark.
It's a cool game.
Yeah.
I've never beat Perfect Dark. I feel like I should. I should go back and do that.
it.
There's
Yeah,
still
do it.
time.
Go
That's the
beat
good
it.
thing about games.
They're always there for you.
Yeah.
Unless
They never
you're Mag for PS3. That went away.
God damn
That
it.
went away fast.
That's the fucking 5th time that piece of shit has been mentioned on SuperPod Saga. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm gonna bring it up every single time.
Who wants to read this big gigantic one from the Cthusiast Jeff?
Oh man.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Favorite games? I have to give it to Star Fox 64, Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Perfect Dark, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. Because I put so many hours into those games, though I will give lots of love to Pokemon Stadium, Star Wars Racer, Rogue Squadron, and Battle for Naboo. Favorite memory? I used to watch my brothers play games. A lot of the times, it's because there wasn't enough save files for me. So that's how I experienced Majora's Mask for the first time. Ocarina of Time, I played until the Water Temple, and the game had beaten me because of a hidden chest, which I later discovered through a YouTube video, and that's how I beat Ocarina of Time for the first time last year. Also, to this day, I still remember the master cheat code for Turok 2. Beware Oblivion is at hand. Yup, I also remember that. Everything else, I played so much multiplayer with my friends and my brothers, and that's where they learned my forte was in racing games. I love everything about the N64, and yes, my palms have healed from the Mario Party minigames.
Thank God, those palms have healed. Everybody, give a round of applause for
I'm glad it's healed after so long.
Enthusiast Jeff. God damn, dude.
Yep, hell of an answer.
Good stuff.
Beware Oblivion is at hand. That's so crazy. I do remember that, but up until he just put those words in my eyes, I kind of forgot about it. But I do remember it now.
I still have this this code that's just carved into my brain from, I'm pretty sure it's Resident Evil Code Veronica or Resident Evil 2. I forget, but it's when you're in a police station and you have to use a code on a computer to unlock a fucking locker or door or some shit, and it's NTC0394. Everybody, you're welcome. I don't know what game it's for, but you're welcome. Saved you a bunch of time.
Thank
Where
you.
the
Let's
fuck
all
were
just
you
say
when-
a code that we remember and what game it's from.
True Believer, Spider-Man, N64, but it's True Believer, but it's not spelled fully. True Believer.
Weapon Cheat 3 from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. R1, R2, L1, R2, left, down, right, up, left, down, down, left. That's it for me.
Do you guys remember the Konami code by heart?
Isn't it up, down, left, right, A, B, start, select? Is that it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I was like, that's very close if it is.
We just found out that Konami code exists in Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. Somebody just found that last month? Something like that? Or a month ago? Yeah, that it's in... You do a version of it. I posted a video of it. You do a version of the Konami code and then unlocks all of the characters' outfits, all their alternate outfits in the Lord of Darkness game. Or Legacy of Darkness, sorry. For N64.
Wait,
that's fucking
But we didn't
cool.
find that out till like 20 years later. So.
That's crazy. I
That's
just
awesome.
beat... You know what? That game is really good. I just beat that like a few months ago. And I was shocked because I'd always grown up thinking that game was supposed to be bad. And I threw it on and I was like, shit, man, this game's good. And I know that like Legacy of Darkness is kind of like the... it's basically the better version of the first one. Because after you beat Legacy of Darkness with the wolf dude, then you can just go back and play it with other characters.
It's just the stuff they wanted to put in Castlevania 64 that got cut.
Yeah, and I played it on the Mister on the Turbo Core, and it was like a locked 30, and it with the expansion pack on, which was phenomenal. Like it looked good, it played really well. I was very impressed by that game.
It's a cool game. Isn't that weird how people say bad things about games and then they're really, really cool? I wouldn't know
Jeff
anything about
Gersman.
that. Yeah, Jeff.
Jiggy, you can get the next one from Toastcat7594 Geek Addicts.
Toastcat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Toastcat.
Playing games with friends is top. Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Mario Party, and so on. Honestly, didn't own one until I was an adult, so multiplayer was my only real experience as a kid. Funny enough, though, I just got my son a pair of N64 controllers for his Switch that also work for the actual console. Pokemon Stadium 2. How could I forget? 2 is in also, not the number 2. Just important distinction.
The first yeah.
Dude, I'm probably gonna bring this up a lot, but I really love Mario Party. I am fucking so bad at it though. Like I have the worst luck at Mario Party. I'll be at the top of the goddamn world, living large with like 5 stars, and then I'll just like trip and lose every single star, and everybody's just gonna trample over me, and boom, last place.
Mario Party is 100% chance.
It's skill.
There's
I'll echo Dan Reichert. It's skill based. There's a skill.
Yeah, get good.
You gotta lose really hard to win. It's kind of a...
See, what I like though, I think it was Mario Party Superstars or Super Mario Party, whichever one. There's an option. I think it's Mario Party Superstars because that's the one with all the N64 maps.
Yeah.
There's an option to enable games, like it'll be like, different categories of games, and you can only enable games that require skill. That's there. Skill-based games. So there's skill. There's skill.
They're there.
It's there. I'll argue.
We're there.
Just amongst the games that say chance time.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God,
okay.
dude.
Item?
I
When you get that bowl of bees or whatever, when you're trying to
Oh yeah.
get the fruit.
I'm
Now
Toad.
that's some bullshit.
That wasn't a Mario Party game. That just happens. Probably in your dreams, I imagine. Just a bowl of bees.
Yep.
Not the base.
I'm sorry, you're saying bees or beads?
Beats.
Beats?
Mike, you can get the next one from Anubis Hero. Yeah.
Being able to play Pikemon on my TV with the Game Boy player and using Pokemon Stadium.
That should.
Did you want me to elaborate on that?
I'm sure.
Transfer pack.
Yeah, I'm sure he means Pokemon, and yeah, that was so fucking cool how they included. Like, I mean, I guess that was like the best way to play Pokemon Stadium was with that little transfer pack and your Pokemon from the games. Otherwise, you got those terrible, awful, fucking useless AI generated ones that the game gave you. Terrible.
I've never used
Yeah,
it.
they give you like the worst moves.
Well, the first version in Japan was okay because they built those teams on all the people that played the competitive Pokemon scene. But then they found out it was too hard. So then they had to add all those rentals and all the other stuff when they released it in the US.
They're whooping too much ass.
Because we're bad at Pokemon. Yeah.
Give them all Kakunas and Metapods. No tackle, only Harden.
Yeah.
Japanese kids just want to make sure that we know we're bad at video games.
Oh, this next one from Dre. It's another long one. The Nintendo 64 had to have a redemption arc for me. For the kind of games I was interested in, the N64 largely wasn't it. I have obviously loved Nintendo games, so we started with a bang with Mario and Pilot Wings. Fuck yeah. But the releases from there were slow to come and not worth the wait for me. Ocarina. I wanted to play Street Fighter and Toshinden and Mega Man X and lots of JRPGs, and I wasn't getting that from N64. Then, deep into the Dreamcast era, as cartridges started becoming really cheap, I did a lot of N64 catch-up, and there are many more gems that I had than I had realized. Body Harvest, Mischief Makers, Hybrid Heaven, Windback, and the Turoks all became favorites of mine, as well as the N64 installments of Wipeout and Ridge Racer. So yeah, while I still think the reputation of this system is largely propped up by people's childhood memories, particularly Americans, there are a lot of great games for Nintendo 64 once you look past the big name stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I can sort of agree with that. Like, I definitely grew up. That was like a time in my life as a kid growing up with the N64. Like, there's definitely games that most now would probably be like, this is dog shit. Why do you even like this? But I don't know. Something about that console just, I love it. You know, it's like, I always hear, you always hear the same things, like, for the majority of people that talk about N64. You hear about your Marios, you hear about Mario Kart, and you hear about Zelda and stuff like that. Why the fuck is no one talking about Bomberman Hero? Like,
honestly, dude,
I love Bomberman Hero.
Even Bomberman 64.
It's so jank, but in the best way.
Yeah, and Bomberman 64 is really good. I think Bomberman Hero is a little better than 64 though. Something about Hero, man, like Hero just
it's got that fucking.
It's so different.
That fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, shout out to good friend of the show,
shit.
Jameson with Bar Silence. He did an episode on Bomberman Hero soundtrack. Oh, it's so good.
It's very
the
good.
Soundtrack is just, it hits every single good feel in my nervous system, dude. So good.
Yep.
Charlie Blast Territory, anyone play that one?
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I played that more in Hero because I had friends.
I don't think you meant that to sound as mean as it did.
Maybe not.
I'm looking up
I really like Bomberman 64, but like the 2001 Bomberman 64 because I like the 2D Bombermans, and I thought that one was pretty great. But nobody wants to play that with me. They just want to play Bomberman 64, the regular one. So I do have friends that come over and we play Garage and 64 games, but I usually don't allow them to pick games. I tell them that their taste is bad and they have to play what I want to play.
Too bad we're playing Blast Corps again.
No, we play some weird stuff. We played some Evangelion last time, even though that's a single player game, just because I was forcing them.
It's like all QuickTime events, right? Mostly?
Sorta. Yeah, most
yeah.
of them. There's some like first person shooter and stuff, but like, just stationary. But yeah, we've all watched the show.
I never ever got a translation, so I don't think, did it?
Not officially.
Can you get through that?
Yeah. So when I played through it the first time, I used my phone to translate it, like with Google Lens. But now you can use RetroArch. I use Mupin on RetroArch, and you can get an AI overlay that just translates the game on the fly for you, so you don't have to.
Wow.
And it's only like an hour and a half long. So, it's not a super long game. So even if you're reading the whole time, it's not so bad.
Who wants to do the next one from Adam? Backlog Bloggery.
I'll take this one. From Adam from Backlog Bloggery. Okay, where to even start with this? Whilst the first gaming machine we ever had in our house when I was growing up was a PC, the N64 was a console in which I decided I wanted to take up gaming as a hobby. Slight addiction. Playing GoldenEye multiplayer with a bunch of mates raging when we got red shelled in Mario Kart, playing Shadows of the Empire with the first Hoth level. Oh my god, that game was so good. I can't remember anything past it. The magical sword in which I discovered, or the magical world, sorry, in which I discovered Zelda Ocarina of Time, and being able to put my Game Boy monsters and play my Game Boy game on the big screen with Pokemon Stadium. There were so many good, if not great, memories attached to this console, which I still own to this day.
Yeah. Last one.
Yeah.
I can read it. For me, it was the price of the carts. I loved a lot of those games, but the look on my uncle's face when he bought Turok for $120 Canadian, only for it to get knocked down a few weeks later to player's choice pricing, was awful. Carts were insanely expensive. Speaking of Turok, I think we can all agree the fog was intentional and goddamn atmospheric. I also paid almost $100 for Turok at a Walmart in Wisconsin when it came out, and that was all of my video game money for that year. And I probably made the wrong decision. I like Turok, but not $100 like Turok.
Yeah, I played like I think $115 or something for Diddy Kong Racing, and that was like shit. I remember I like got all of my birthday money, and my parents were like, "So, what do you want to do with it?" And I was like, "I just want to get Diddy Kong Racing, man." And that was it. All of my birthday money gone. I'm pretty sure they had to.
And then
fucking
Jeff gave it a
spot me.
6.6, and you're like, "Oh."
I love that game.
That game is so good. I said in that that Twitter thread that you started where you called out Jeff, I'll die on the hill. I actually think Diddy Kong Racing is a better kart racer than Mario Kart 64.
Oh yeah, hands down.
It's got so much more shit. Like, it's got fucking bosses. Where the fuck are you gonna race against Pigman? Pigman, there's no Pigman. There's no Pigman in Mario Kart 64. You don't race a fucking Triceratops up a mountain.
I mean, it's got Wario. He's pretty close to a Pigman.
Yeah, but like, he's just in the game. I mean, like, there's fucking bosses. It's basically a collectathon. You gotta like get
it's awesome.
first. Yeah, like you gotta collect the balloons and shit to unlock the different levels.
You know what I
There's
love
secrets.
about the multiplayer in particular? Like when you're racing against other people, there's actual legitimate strategy to collecting items.
Yeah,
like, you make the decision between boosts, weapons, or shields, or whatever. Whereas in Mario Kart, it's like, oh, if you're losing, you're gonna get some star or something and shoot yourself forward. Like you're gonna. It's just, it's not as strategic. It's just random. It's like the bonus stars in Mario Party. Freaking hate that. But at the same time, I can't get enough of it. So I guess there's some.
There's a lot of cool. Yeah, Gerry said it too. There's a lot of cool secrets to it, like all the unlockable characters and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that game was Conker's first appearance.
Yep. Well,
I think so.
Wait.
I think it was. Because Conker was late in the N64.
Yeah, but he had a Game Boy
97?
game.
That was later too. Yeah.
Was it later? I couldn't remember. Not much later though.
Pocket Tales was later on.
Pocket Tales. Whoa. Look at this last minute entry. Wumbo Pwok Sword. He says Quest 64 is awesome.
Mike, what would the elevator pitch for Quest 64 be? Like, in all seriousness, like, I want to get the most serious Mike answer ever. What is the elevator
for Quest
pitch
64? Oh,
yes.
I've got this. I got this on lock. Like, what game? Well, what RPG did you play? So we're talking 1998. What RPGs were you playing around that time?
At that time, I would have owned Super Mario RPG Secret of Mana.
Okay, so like when you played Secret of Mana and you like left
Secret of Banana.
A banana, and you left and you like went out into the overworld. Like, was it 3D and was it like brightly colored? Like, were the characters?
It was mode 7.
It was mode 7. But then think about like the size of the towns compared to the characters in all those games and the Final Fantasy games that were out at the same time. Like, did you really feel like immersed into the game? Like, were you part of it? Because that's how I felt with Quest 64. Like, the second you left the monastery at the beginning and like houses were house sized and the world was one big open, like, interlaced thing without load times and weird, star slides to inside of an inn and something like that. Like, I felt like I was part of that game, and with the graphics and the music And
The music
like,
is really
just,
good.
and the happiness, like it was. A lot of games are really dark. Like people like to compare it to Final Fantasy VII, but I don't always want to mope through 3 hours of the beginning of Final Fantasy VII to get to the parts that I want to play. Like I like to just
Mope.
start start Quest 64, and the game's just like, all right, bye, and then you start playing in the first 2 minutes of the game without sitting through stuff. I like Ogre Battle 64, but I don't always have time to start a new file and do an hour tutorial, which is mandatory to start that game before you get to anything that you can actually play. Like Quest is a pick up and play, and that's something that I've always loved. Like the same reason I defend sports games like, NBA Showtime or NFL Blitz or NASCAR 99. Like I just want to play games. Like I have time in my life to play games, not to play tutorials. So
Is Quest very long?
it's like 10 to 15 hours ish.
Oh,
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
yeah.
It is very appealing to not have to go through lots of tutorials. I freaking hate that. It seems like every game I pick up lately is just giving me like half hour to an hour of tutorials. I'm like, just let me play the flippin' game. I'll figure it out.
Well, it harkens back to like Dragon Warrior on NES. It's if you don't read the manual that comes with the game, you're dumped out in the world and you're gonna have to figure it out for yourself. So like it always makes me feel like an old school RPG, an old school, roguelike with no party, just go out and do the thing. And that, like, there's a lot of things about it that appeal to me. So.
Hell yeah. That's a good answer. You know what? Maybe I'll actually play Quest 64.
Well, that's it. That's it for the Discord Q&A. It's all done. Yay. We'll take a quick break. Listen to fucking A, man. Listen to some more tunes, and we'll be right back.
I don't want to listen to fucking a man.
Well, we're back. Harkening back to the chicken pot pies and anal.
Yeah.
The Nintendo 64, everybody, released in '96, competing against the PS1, Sega Saturn, and all the other ones nobody else gives a goddamn about. Well, except for maybe Chris not Chris, Thrak and Bill with the 3DO. I didn't ever actually own the Nintendo 64 myself.
What?
All my cousins had one. My brother had one, or I guess stepbrother. But I had a PS1 that our stepdad bought for us from a trucker. So that was cool.
No
That's
way.
very specific.
Yeah, I remember it to this very day. Yeah, it's my stepdad for the past like a million years. Okay, he's worked at this trucking place cleaning out semi trucks and shit. So every so often, truckers will come by, they'll drop off their truck to get cleaned, and they'll have just a bunch of fucking stuff in there. And one trucker went up to my stepdad. He was like, "Hey, do you want this PS1 and all of these motherfucking games for like $100?" And he says, "Yeah." We're not talking about the PS1 though. No, forget about all this shit. We're talking about the N64. Yeah, man.
No, wait. I want to know. Did he like come up to you and say, "Hey, I bought this from a trucker," or was there like?
It's totally not stolen.
It's a very specific detail. Like
he basically did. He said, "I bought this from a trucker or like a driver or whatever at work, and it's your guys's." And then
I bought this from a very legitimate source.
I bought
a trucker that
from
I
a very
with.
large trucker.
It cost me $100.
$100, wink. Yeah, man. What was all of your guys' first experience with the N64? Like the very first one you could remember?
Oh, Christmas morning, 99. Donkey Kong 64.
Did you get the green one?
No, it wasn't that cool.
Damn it!
It was the base black one, charcoal or whatever they call it. But I remember getting out and I was so excited and I ran out and I opened the box and I was like flipping out.
Are you the N64 kid?
No, but I definitely had a reaction like that. Actually, I had mixed feelings because I actually wanted a Sega Genesis because my friend had one and we played like Sonic the Hedgehog and Golden Axe and all that. But I was still excited because it was like a game console. I didn't have one at the time, and so had the box. Open it up. It was all empty. I was like super upset, going through a lot of emotions. And my dad had set it up in like
Merry
the other
Christmas, Mom and Dad.
room. Yeah, exactly. And then I proceeded to play Donkey Kong 64 for like 26 years. So
Nice, dude.
Have you ever checked out that ROM hack where like you
any
can
Kong anywhere, or
oh my god,
take out.
it's so good. It adds so much to the game. Like I haven't fully played the game with that ROM hack, but like I've seen it in action, like at a buddy's, and like man, is it good? Like just being able to switch your Kong like on the fly.
Yeah, it's amazing how one change like that can fix basically 90% of the public opinion like issue right there.
Yep. The thing, my only beef with that game was I found for some reason the field of view was like so like it like I felt like I couldn't see anything, and like I was used to playing like Banjo Kazooie where like you could zoom out and shit, but like even when like can you actually zoom? If you can zoom out on
Yeah.
Donkey Kong 64, it's not that much.
I don't know where it is in relation to Banjo Kazooie, but you can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wasn't really a problem for me, but
I'll
I'll
have to revisit that game sometime.
revisit
with
it
that
and
ROM
take a peek again for like the
Yeah.
50th time.
Hell
I got
yeah.
mine in '96. We got it for Christmas. My parents were really bad about keeping secrets though because they got excited about stuff. So they bought it earlier, but then come December, all of the controllers were missing, like in stores. So I vividly remember my parents making us go to Best Buy for no reason, which was like 30 minutes from our house. We went 3 separate times, and they were there looking for 64 controllers because it only came with one, and we needed at least 2 because I have a brother, and then my parents liked the game too. So eventually we found the black SuperPad 64, which was the only thing Best Buy had in stock, and then that was our Player 2 controller. But that also ruined the surprise. That was on like a week before, so maybe like the 16th. I think that number is stuck in my head for some reason. So then we got to open it early ahead of Christmas and play Mario 64 together, which was really cool.
So are you the older brother or the younger brother?
I'm the older brother.
So you got the actual N64 controller.
No, I actually really like the SuperPad. I had not
the SuperPad's not bad. I had a red one.
6 of them sitting
bad.
underneath the bed right over there. So
as far as the third party goes, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. It's got a nice metal stick in it that only will maim you if you break the top off of it.
What's something that like when the first thing you think about, like close your eyes, think about Mario 64. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Because like there's something for me, and I wonder if it's the same.
It's Bob Battlefield. It's dun 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 dun, like right away. And then the pink bomb like doing right away. Like that's been my phone ringtone for like 10 years too. So like it also wakes me up and stuff like that. So that'll always be my memory of that game.
Like Bomb Battlefield theme?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you jump out of bed like Mario? Like
that is a crazy like people always like go back to like some of the like SNES soundtrack for like Super Mario World, but like I mean that's a fucking good soundtrack. But there's something about Bob on Battlefield that is just like, dude, as soon as you hear that song, look, Jiggylookback is bobbing his head just because he can hear it in his head because it's 100%. It's stupid good. It's so good.
We haven't gotten to Dire Docks yet, dude. Dire Docks. I
used that for my first sex tape.
Oh yeah,
that's too mellow. That's
Peach's
too mellow
Secret
for
Slide.
an alarm thing. So like,
I thought Mike was gonna say that's too mellow for sex.
The Bomb Battlefield stays on during intercourse.
Until the climax,
Peach's
until
Secret
you
Slide.
throw on the Bowser theme.
That's
how you know.
I used to think the Bowser thing, like his theme in Mario 64, was the most badass thing ever.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, this is basically metal.
If you go back and listen, I had somebody point this out to me. There's a whole history of that era of Nintendo being really into Japanese like freeform jazz, so that's why there's so many horns incorporated into the early N64 music. Yep, there's this big long thing of jazz and Miyamoto being really into that type of music, and that's how we got all those like just absolute bopping like 60s sounding weird jazz horn.
It's great though because it
themes.
stands out so much as opposed to like almost every other soundtrack at the time. Like, you know, a Mario soundtrack, and like I would say Mario soundtracks from that point forward incorporated a lot of jazz in them as well. Like I actually like unironically like smooth jazz because of like Nintendo soundtracks and Persona. Like I'll throw on like if we have people over, I'm like, Alexa, put on some smooth jazz. Like immediately, because it's just, people are like, oh fuck this. Oh shit.
Now we got some smooth jazz. Come on, play Bob-omb Battlefield.
Started playing.
I like to imagine. I like to imagine Miyamoto like walking up to an employee. He's like, hey bud, and like taps him on the shoulder. Hey bud, what you working on? And this dude's like, oh, I'm working on fucking Castlevania 64. And Miyamoto's just like, hey, more fucking horns. The soundtrack. Hey bud, more fucking horns.
And none of that smooth jazz stuff either. We need that tight fusion jazz.
Yeah. Give me a lot.
That
Give me a lot of
disco
like
jazz
ride.
fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. I think like for me though, like when I think of a Mario 64, I've sort of told the story before. Like the first time I ever seen that was at a Blockbuster, and I could not comprehend what I was looking at. And the dude was just setting it up, and he was like, "Yeah, you want to play this game or something?" And I was like, "What is it?" And he like turned it on, and I remember just like seeing like that initial screen of like pulling on his face. And I thought that at first I thought that was a game, and I was like, "This is amazing!" And he was just like, "You gotta go into it." And I like started up, go into the game, and the thing that is burned into my memory, and I can like taste it, is just the
Banquet
like,
Popeyes.
Yeah.
those and anal, and also Peach just
could
being like,
taste the
"Dear
anal."
Mario," and like yeah, I could just taste the anal.
Yeah.
And like the Dear Mario like thing where like she's saying, "I baked a cake for you," and then you pot like, and then you see like the is it Lakitu? Dude, what is the pronunciation of this goddamn thing?
Lakitu.
Is it Lakitu?
Yeah,
Some people
you're
call
on
it Lakitu.
No,
So the
that's Kia
Lakitu
owners. Don't listen to them.
like floating around, and then like Mario just coming out of that pipe was just like mind blowing to me as a child.
Yeah.
Like, seeing Mario in full 3D like that was crazy.
That was the first like system where I felt like I knew that this was the next generation, and I don't think I had that feeling again until maybe like seeing Fight Night on the Xbox 360 and
Fight
seeing
Night
like
Round
the
3.
realistic blood and guts. And I'm like, all right, well now I got to buy a high def TV and the new system because I saw a friend that had that. Like, and since then, like there hasn't been leaps and bounds anymore. Like the N64 was like such a step up over the previous generation for me because I came from Genesis as well. So.
Dude, absolutely. Like I remember before we got a 360 or not N64, my bad. So I guess all my cousins had an N64, and then at my dad's house we had an N64, and that's where I played it with my stepbrother, was at my dad's house. So whenever I went to my dad's house, before they got an N64, we had an SNES with Super Castlevania 4, Killer Instinct, and 2 other games that I forget. But I remember playing those for like years and years, like over and over, and then we finally got the N64 with like Super Mario 64. We even had Smash Bros. And I remember thinking, like, dude, this is like, how does it get any better from this? Like, there's no way they can improve upon this. Like, this is the future. And then
they never did.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what I love?
Smash Bros was so sick, though.
You know what I love? First, I want to say when I think of Mario 64, I think of those trees that are immediately in the courtyard, and just like climbing up, and you do a little handstand at the top, and then you slide down. Okay, but I love how every console that ever came out, like on the back of the game boxes or whatever. I don't know if 64 did this, but I know like GameCube and everything after, it always says epic movie like graphics or like movie quality graphics or something like that, and your character's like, a box or something. It's like it's the way he's pulling her out. He's like checking. I just love that so much. I always got a kick out of it because it was like every new generation that came in, they'd be like, epic movie like graphics.
That reminds me of the fucking memes where it's like, the moon landing was faked. It was made with like CGI or whatever, and then it cuts to like CGI,
Yeah,
CGI like fucking 30 years ago, and it's just like this fucking
it's Gumpy.
yeah, or it's Gollum from the new Gollum game or some shit. Like my brother in Christ, we can't even get it right now. What makes you think we could have gotten it right in fucking 19 butthole whatever year?
It's crazy because like I totally agree with, like, if you really think about it, PS4 to PS5, okay, graphics are better. PS3 to PS4, yeah, graphics are better.
Yeah.
But like when you think about the jump from like Super Nintendo to N64, we went to a different fucking dimension. Literally, like we went from 2D to 3D. Like that's crazy. That was mind blowing, and I will stand by it that it's not just because we're looking at this through like nostalgic rose tinted glasses. Just think about that sentence. We went from a different dimension,
Yeah,
to like
absolutely.
we jumped like a huge leap. But like now it's just like, look how good the nose hair is on this character, and his ears are super realistic. It's like, fuck off. Like who can, like, show me something that's like mind blowing. That, and like honestly, the only thing that I've played on PS5 so far, not to take this away from N64, but like I think the Astrobot game that like you first play, which reminds me of Mario 64. Like that's what they're doing. Like they announced this new Astrobot game, and it's just PlayStation be like, look, we got Mario 2. Look at our Mario. Look how cute this Mario is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Mario at home. No, we don't. We got fucking anal and pancakes or whatever.
Yeah. It's breakfast now. We're past it.
Dude,
yeah.
But
that's my TED talk about dimension hopping.
I feel that, man. Like as we get further and further into the future, but yeah, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, the generational leap from like 3 to 4, like it's a little bit noticeable, and then 4, or I mean, in terms of PlayStations, yeah, PS3 to 4, it's a little bit noticeable. 4 to 5, maybe it's a little bit more noticeable. But as we get more and more realistic with graphics and shit, I think that's why I kind of prefer games that use like an older, like pixelated art style, or even like Crow Country, where it kind of uses that N64
God, that
like
game looks
chunky
so good.
polygons, or what's another good one? I guess any like hand drawn art style. I love that shit too. Bug Fables, which is like heavily based off of Paper Mario series, like that shit I really love too. And
I like the fact that like a lot of the 3D platformers that are coming out now are like harkening back to, and like honestly, when you think about it, a lot of that is harkening back to N64 and the 3D platformers that were on there. Like when you think of a 3D platformer in its like oldest form, you're thinking of Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit. Like yes, Spyro as well was very good at that whole thing, but like there's just something about like Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64 just being these 3D platformers of like a time that now there are games trying to replicate that. And even like the old Rare guys trying to replicate it with Ukulele, and they still didn't really get it the way that it was back on Banjo-Kazooie. And like stuff like A Hat in Time, very much a Mario like collectathon, but just still doesn't, I don't know, there's something about it. Like none of these games, even though they're very good, never really hit that N64 charm for me.
Super Kiwi 64.
Ooh,
Super Kiwi?
That's such a
Super
fucking weird
Kiwi
one.
64.
I like that.
I've
That
never
is
heard
like,
of that.
That is the
Or Tori
closest.
3D.
I
Or
haven't-
Tori 3D. Or
I haven't played Corn Kids. Has anyone played Corn Kids?
No.
I just
I've
watched
seen-
a video of it because the kids shared it to me.
I've
Yeah.
heard I've heard really good things about that one, but out of what I've played, Super Kiwi 64 is like the closest to that old feeling, and it's
Yeah.
really it's like a 2-hour game, but it's fun and it's fast. It's just fun.
Yeah, my kids are playing Little Kitty Big City right now, and that's as close as I've seen or felt like the joy of them playing through that is as close as I felt to like those platformers back then, because it's, you know, it's simple. It's like everything is on screen. Like in Mario, you just figured out where the next star was. Like, look at what the, you know, what the next lit up star is telling you to do. You know, at the bottom of the sunken ship. You know,
Yeah.
well, where am I going? Obviously, going in the water. You know, the Little Kitty Big City's got all that same kind of thing with the exploration and collection. Like they're the way that they're enjoying that is the way that like I was enjoying Mario and Bomberman 64 and Body Harvest and things like that.
Fuck yeah.
Body Harvest is good, man. That's
There's-
a good ass game.
Duck Dodgers, anyone?
I do
Dodge.
like, I
Never
do
really
like
played that.
games based on ducks. Yeah.
One thing that I always see a lot of people bashing all over the N64 about, especially I think we saw a couple of those in the Discord Q&A, was about how the carts were like expensive, and a lot of people hate how, I guess, like outdated carts kind of felt. But at the same time, like there's way more benefits to them using carts than I feel like there were cons. Because fucking if they had used CDs for Super Mario 64, I felt like there would have been entirely too many loading screens all the goddamn time, and like
Yeah,
it
that's
would
one
have
thing
that
I
weird,
don't like about the PlayStation. Like,
yeah, it would
every
have
2
that weird like
seconds there's a
texture
loading
jiggle
screen.
that it had. Yeah,
Well,
But
that's
that's
not
what
because
the-
of the CDs though. I
I
mean
guess that's true.
the
The
only real
interlacing.
benefit to the CD was the memory size, which, you know,
Yeah.
you could get a lot more on. But then
Cutscenes and
yeah, you
shit.
do have load screens with that. But like the actual like memory infrastructure of the 64 is what limited you with like texture size and um resolution and things like that. But it was actually like games generally I thought looked pretty good on the 64.
You know what's insane? I think one of the most ridiculous feats pulled off on the N64 was the black magic behind compressing Resident Evil 2 to
Yes.
Oh
work
yeah.
on the N64.
Insane.
That shit is insane. It even had the fucking cutscenes. I mean, they looked like
Could be
bad,
garbage.
but like they were there. And like now as an adult, like I mean, back then it was just like, oh cool, I can get Resident Evil 2 on N64 as well. But now, like looking at the technical side of it, it's just like, holy shit, how do these people do this? Like, how did you fit this game on this cart? Like, they did some insane black magic to get that on there.
And it wasn't just that game either. Capcom did it twice because they did it with Mega Man Legends too.
Oh,
So-
right. Yeah, I forgot
so
about that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So like two of the craziest were both Capcom, who didn't care if Nintendo succeeded or not.
It's true. It's true. Oh man, Mega Man Legends is so good. I only just recently played that through, and I was like, I'm a huge Mega Man fan. Like, it's part of my goddamn identity at this point. And it was only until like last year that I actually sat down and I was like, let me see what this game's all about, I guess. And it was fantastic. I loved that game from start to finish. Did you guys play that?
I
Yeah.
didn't play it on 64, but I did play the PS1 version.
See, I was the opposite. I've only played 64 and never touched Legends 2 or Tron Bond. Not because I
Tron Bond's
don't want to, just because I just don't. My backlog it will kill me at some point.
Yeah, I haven't played them, but I really, really want to. Like, I still need to finish all the mainline Mega Man X's and
Good luck with that.
regular Mega Mans. Mega Men? Yeah, Mega Men.
Mega Man.
Mans?
The
It's
regular
been
Mega
the
Men.
summer of Game Boy Color for me. In fact, I think it started because of the other episode we
handheld
were on, where I
ports.
just said I was just going to play every handheld Game Boy Color port or side release of every N64 game, and like there's got to be at least 100 of them. I keep trying to make a list, and I keep adding things, and there's a lot of games. So that's all I've been doing all summer.
Well, I would be I would be remiss if I didn't try to bring up Mystical Ninja again. Like, again, for anybody that's listening to the show because they're like, N64, huh? What's good? I'll tell you what's fucking good. Mystical Ninja. And
You fucking push him against the locker. I'll tell you what's fucking good, you little monster.
So do you like all three of the Gomon games? Like, have you played all of them?
Yes, to some capacity. Like I've played through and finished Mystical Ninja several times. It's one of my favorite games. Gomon's Great Adventure is also really good because like the co-op is fantastic in that game. And it still has like the charm of Mystical Ninja 64, but also it kind of goes back to the roots of what the Gomon games were on, like the SNES. The board game thing, I've kind of like I've thrown it on, but I didn't like do much with it because I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, Mononoke, Surugu. Yeah, play that. If you're gonna play that, get a couple friends that also like can't read kanji, and then all get together and play it that way. I say that without joking. That's how so before I started like translating games and stuff, because I'm big into the Japanese library of N64, it's way more fun to have a bunch of people with you that also can't understand the game and then figure it out like instinctually, like by just like, all right, well, this is what's winning right now. Somebody find a counter to what I'm doing without being able to read what the screen's trying to tell you. Like it's a really primitive art form that I've discovered, and it's playing games you don't understand. You really get in touch with them then.
All I think is like a menu that's like really complex, and you're trying to navigate through the menu. And it's like whoever gets to the game first wins.
Well, we always cheat our way. We always cheat our Google Translate, Google Lens our way through the menu to make sure that we have 3 players playing, and that we're playing like the full game mode and not like a tutorial or a 5-minute time trial thing. But then once the game starts, like all like gloves are off.
I think one of the most insane games that like I kind of overlooked when it got finally translated officially here was Sin and Punishment. I kind of overlooked it. And then I think it was like 3 years ago, I was like, maybe I should throw this on. And I was like, excuse me? What the fuck is going on in this game? Like, it was just balls to the wall the second you turn that thing on. And then it just kind of clicked. I was like, oh, this is a treasure game. Treasure don't miss. Yeah. They never miss. Like, none of their
especially
games.
not on N64.
Yeah, because they also had Mischief Makers.
Mischief Makers was so good.
And Bang-Hi-O.
Oh, yeah, Bang-Hi-O. Forgot about that.
Dude, that fucking game is so good. I think...
Is it?
I don't know if I've ever played really the N64 version. I played the Dreamcast version of Bang-Hi-O.
It's the same game.
Okay.
It's just they prettied it up for the Dreamcast, and I actually think it actually is like less fun because it looks great on the N64 with all the like weird pixelation and stuff. It makes it feel like a real like screwed up arcade game that you'd be pounding quarters into, as opposed to it being like pretty like a like a 5th grade art project like the Dreamcast was.
Damn it.
You'd like it.
I do like the Dreamcast though, and Jiggylookback. I do see Dreamcast in the background there. So
yeah, Dreamcast is great.
Props. I love Dreamcast.
One of my favorite Nintendo series that Nintendo fucking hates, and by extension hates me, is Custom Robo, which started on the N64. Unfortunately, only in Japan. There's for anybody out there who gives a flying fuck about Custom Robo, which you should, because it's awesome. Yeah, the first game has a full English translation. The second game is very partial. I think some of the menus are still in Japanese, but
it's getting there.
Please play Custom Robo, please. It's really, really good.
I love the arts, like the look of Custom Robo on N64. Like, I don't know, there's something about the way that the N64 looks to me is more appealing in a lot of what, like, I do like the sharpness of some games on PlayStation, but like there's something about that nice fat polygon look of the N64. Like it just had a different look.
Oh my god, is that Custom Robo V2 or whatever?
It's a like build a model Custom Robo. Japan did a whole thing of them.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
It's a customizable Custom Robo.
Bless you, Mike. Bless your socks.
Bless your socks.
That came from Josette's Trinkets, another guy that I've roped into the Japanese world of N64. He has nearly a complete set of those now. I'm sure he's not going to listen to this because I'm on it.
Shout out to good friend of the show, Chris from Novel Console. He's like the world's biggest Star Fox 64 fan. Star Fox 64 is like the perfect fucking game. I really like that game. Trying to think of other games that I really love. Mario Tennis? Yeah.
Mario Tennis is not bad.
It's solid. Mario Golf.
Mario Golf, duh. Yeah. Fucking
Any
Mario
of the Mario
Golf,
sports games. I think those
You
are
know
the
what
only two on 64 though, right?
I think so.
That Kirby 64 is way better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I love the whole combining powers thing. Like,
Yes.
why don't we do that every Kirby game? That's dope. I love it. You mix electric with some sort of frost power, and it makes a mini fridge. Like, I just love those bizarre combination results. Like, they're amazing.
If you mix, what was it? I think it's bomb and needle or something like that. You roll into a ball, and you roll.
Make like dynamite or something, or like missiles.
Yeah, you roll into a ball and you like roll around, and once you let go of the B button or whatever, you shoot out like exploding spikes or whatever. Like that's overpowered as shit.
Yeah, dude, that game is way better than people give it credit for. Like,
and
you never really hear people talk about it either.
And there's a lot of like yeah, the N64 didn't have a lot of RPGs, but the ones that it did have were fucking solid. Like, yeah, Quest 64, it's fucking solid, man. And yeah, Ogre Battle 64, fucking Paper Mario, Hybrid Heaven, which I guess is basically
that game is cool, man.
It is fucking cool, dude.
Doing wrestling moves and shit.
Aiden
Turn-based combat.
Gauntlet
Which one?
Legends.
Gauntlet Legends, dude. Gauntlet Legends is so fucking cool. I forgot to mention Dr. Mario 64. I also really love Dr. Mario 64. It's not an RPG, but I really love Dr. Mario.
I mean, don't make me do the thing where I just list all the RPGs, because that's kind of my thing now. So.
The first game that ever actually scared me into bringing it back to the video store was Nightmare Creatures on N64.
Oh, dude.
That's
all.
I walked that shit back.
What do y'all think about the N64 controller? Like,
I love it.
I defend it with my life. I freaking hate that people like hate on this controller. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Punch the screen in agreement.
It's cool that it's. I mean, I guess to people going from like the SNES controller or the PlayStation controller to the N64 controller probably is confusing, but I mean, the game tells you which buttons to use and like how to control the game. So like once you learn that, it's like, okay, well, brain dead. Like
every manual. Well, then all the Japanese games had a pamphlet, but every game came with like a hand position guide in the manual showing you which side to put your hands on. You know, so you didn't have to. You didn't have to have three hands. You just had to be able to use both your eyes to read.
I think really the only game that did anything even remotely different would be like Sin and Punishment, because you controlled your character with the D-pad, I believe.
Yeah,
instead of the control stick.
Well, there was a lot of games that did, like you just talked about Kirby 64. That was a D-pad game, and so was Mischief Makers.
Yeah.
And
aside from 3D games, you did have your 6-button input. Just saying. So you had that.
That's true. Yeah. The controller is cool, man. It's iconic as fuck. Like it's something only Nintendo would make, man. It's that exact meme where you see
the fact that they kept the.
Go
ahead.
Well, it was the next step, just like the N64 graphics were. Like if you went from the N64 control or the SNES controller to the N64 controller, you knew this was the next thing. Like it was as big of a leap as the graphics and like everything else was. It was like this is it now. This is the next cool thing. We have this analog stick. It's only been on one other system. You know, this is it. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I know this is awesome because look how it feels in my hand, and it comes in a bunch of colors. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
oh my
the
God,
colors.
the colors.
Yeah.
Jinx. Yeah, man. Fucking. I'm gonna look up a list of all the different colors.
Jungle
man.
green.
The fantastic
Jungle
colors,
green.
man. And they're
Fucking
so
fire
expensive
orange.
now. Holy shit,
I
those
wish-
fantastic colors are expensive.
Atomic
Why didn't they
purple.
ever make? Yeah, why didn't they ever make atomic purple for like the actual console, man? I'll never understand that.
Yeah, why didn't they? That was such a cool color. They did make
We
the.
actually-
Is it grape or whatever?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh,
group.
yeah.
We actually
Yeah.
in the N64 group that I run, we have Dan and another guy. But they own
Another
all.
guy.
Well, I just don't know. Like I've always think, do I need to do people want like their names dropped and stuff like that? But they own the entire series of the prototypes. So the Ice Clear, the Extreme Green, the Atomic Purple, all have single unit. Yeah, they all have single
Fuck
unit
yeah, dude.
prototypes. And those do exist, and they're all
Oh,
in one
shit.
collection in Europe right now. So. And they're very willing to show them off and stuff. The guy who runs, so the other guy is David. The guy who runs Console Variations is the guy who currently has them all in his possession, and
Wow.
they're very cool.
Yeah, I think a buddy of mine just shared it on my Discord, and then he also shared there was a place I'm looking at it right now. You could send your N64 to get chrome. It would be painted.
Oh.
It was a special.
Yeah, you're talking about Fox Data.
That's cool.
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
Fox Data did, and then they had 3 patterns too. They had a Desert Storm looking thing, a black and and then a
Camo
red,
N64.
purple rain. Yeah, leopard
Purple
print.
rain.
Yeah, dude. It was just crazy. It wasn't
cool.
Joe from Jersey doing a spray paint job in his. They did crazy modifications, and those end up being part of history too, because that stopped after a year and a half, and there was only I think 500 was the most they created of any of the controllers. Some of them were more like 100, and people chase those Fox Data things all the time.
That's awesome.
It's cool. They look awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before we go any further, I think we should take an ad break. It's about that time. We'll take an ad break. Yeah, take a break. Take a break for the ads. Take a break. We'll be right back. This episode of SuperPod Saga was brought to you today by the real MVPs, the real sponsors of the show, the patrons, the official superstars. All of you are just awesome, fabulous, handsome, adorable, cute. I don't know what other words to throw in here, but you're all awesome. Every single one of you. It really means so much to me. It means the world, the galaxy, the cosmos. It's something bigger than the cosmos. I don't think there is anything bigger, but if there was, I would love you all that much. I'm stretching my arms out like this right now. So yeah, let's thank the patrons. A Novel Console, Jared Schrader, Jameson Empire, Adam Phineas, Trey, Adam Forrester, Jeff Miners, Jenny E, Kevin Demo, Thrak, and Mr. Kwong. All of you are your official superstars. You guys are the best. If I could meet every single one of you in person and give you a gigantic hug, a high five, and buy you a sandwich or something, I absolutely would, because god damn it, I love every single last one of you. Thank you, patrons, for sponsoring this episode and every single episode to come of SuperPod Saga. Thank you a lot. I mean it. Thank you so much. If you're a fan of coffee and you're looking for something different, I think we've got just the thing for you. That's Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee is not your usual coffee company. Of course, it's all sugar-free, gluten-free, all that stuff, because it's just coffee, nothing added to it. But they roast each batch of coffee beans to your order, and they've got just a bazillion different flavors to choose from. They've got your usual French vanilla, salted caramel, they've got Irish cream, of course they've got decaf, single origin coffees like Kenya, Guatemala, stuff like that, even what they call high voltage, which is extra strength, extra caffeine. But they have all sorts of other awesome kind of out of the box flavors. They've got ones like cotton candy, maple bacon, and even mint chocolate chip ice cream. And they're always coming up with new crossover flavors, like they've done a bunch for Nightmare Before Christmas, Indiana Jones, even Spider-Man, of all things. And they're also coming up with new seasonal flavors all the time. If this sounds right up your alley, feel free to use the link in our episode description and use coupon code SuperPod Saga at checkout to get 20% off your order. That's SuperPod Saga at checkout to get 20% off your order. And if you're not just in the market for coffee, you can also get some sweet mugs. They've got lots of cool shirts. They've got all sorts of different brewing equipment like French presses, stuff like that. Just head on over to bonescoffee.com, or again, use the link in our episode description and get 20% off. Get yourself a new interesting flavor and spice up your morning routine with Bones Coffee. I really hope you enjoy. I'm a really big fan of it, and I hope you find one that really hooks you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Do you have a dinner party coming up? An ice cream social? You've got friends coming over, or you're getting ready to play some games and just chill out, but you need some tunes, some great bumpin' tunes with life-changing lyrics to listen to while you're doing all that. Introducing the best of Dracula Flow. For 16 easy payments of $4.99, you can have the best, the very absolute best of Dracula Flow. Dracula himself spitting the hottest fire bars, if kids are still saying that, with life-changing lyrics such as, "My money long, my pockets deep, no pocket watching in these parts, straight gas and cutting straight to the bricks." Mike, what other life-changing quotes or other life-changing, I guess, songs or lyrics are there on this tape?
I mean, the one that really touches me is, "I used to nut in my socks until the crust smelled sweet. I ain't never going back to Hidden Valley Ranch ice cream."
These songs have changed many a life. They've changed my way of living for sure. Opened my third eye. Hey, Jiggy, hit me with one of your favorite tracks, one of your favorite lyrics.
Oh, absolutely. I threw diamonds at the strip clubs under the Great Pyramids. I pushed the camel through the eye of a needle. This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Gerry.
I never used to be a man of giving to charity until I listened to the one lyric that made me change my whole life around, and that was, "That fentanyl gave me Vitruvian man flexibility."
Perfect.
I didn't believe in God until I listened to the very best of Dracula Flow when he hit me with... Fuck, I gotta find it back. There we go. Until he hit me with, "I went Judge Judy on that pussy. Snipe. I'm not loyal to anybody. I'm a demon. I have no loyalty for anyone. Never did. Never will." Truly, absolutely life-changing. Made me believe in a power much higher than myself. Truly, there is something up there. Please, God, if you're listening, help me.
Yeah, well, I'll help you out right now. I mean, if you guys are looking to really switch it up in the bedroom, ooh la la, all you have to do is live by these few words by Sir Dracula Flow himself. Glock 34 shivered his timbers, blew her back out using a mammoth skin condom, dick pussy freeballing like Shaq and Kobe.
Oh, Jiggy, what kind of lyrics are suburban white moms going to get framed and put up on their walls?
Oh, this is perfect for any suburban white mom. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I'm a dog. I'm biting the fart bubbles in the bath. We smoking symbiotes. Smoking that Whoopi Goldberg South Egyptian.
Mike, what kind of extremely relatable lyrics or songs do you think people are going to get translated into kanji and then tattooed on their backs?
Well, because this is an N64 episode, that gash sound like salmon roe. You ran off with the Diddy Kong triple espresso.
Oh fuck! The next time you're in the club, and you're going to request a song at the DJ booth, and you want to request some Dracula Flow, don't even tell him I want that song. Just quote this. Just quote him. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. We smoking runts. Shorty got a BBL, took that shit out because she couldn't run. Still know exactly what you're talking about.
And you know what? There are lyrics here that really prop your self-esteem up. You know, like, I look like 10 million crawdads fucking.
I actually say that to myself in the mirror every single morning.
Chanel optics got me seeing shit.
Sometimes I have to remind myself that, you know, I'm moving like Oppenheimer.
Mike, I need one more, man.
Do you? Because I'm a mud baby. I can't stop. I have more perks than there are stars in the Leo cluster. I claim in every corner, every block. Fuck it. I'm coming for every enzyme. Snorting Dixie Kong.
For every enzyme. That's right, folks.
We up here smoking that boomhauer.
I'm the Georgetown Geronimos.
Spun around the block so many times they thought it was fucking Minecraft.
Call now and you'll get a free gift. Shit. Nothing.
Be the very best of
We smoking
Cerebrellas.
dung beetle.
And we smoking lizard taint.
Lizard taint. Call now. 1-800 best of Dracula Flow. 69-420. 60 payments of $4.99 plus shipping and handling. Call now. Well, supplies limited. Fucked it all up. Call now. And we're back. We're back. Hey.
I spent that break sending Gerry pictures of my quest shrine from the living room before the lights go down.
Hell yeah.
There was some really intimate pictures mixed in there too, but I don't want to say it on here or whatever.
Ooh, I'm jealous. Damn it. Have you, I know Mike for sure has, but have you guys heard of the N64 DD or like ever touched one in real life?
I've never
Yeah,
touched
I used to
one.
own one.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're not that hard to get a hold of. They're just expensive. So when I decided they weren't always expensive. So I didn't pay a ton for mine, but I flipped it because I wanted to complete my cartridge collection. So then I just sold it off, and the games are just too hard to get. Like Japan Pro Tour Golf on there is like a $5,000 game.
Jesus.
So I just was never going to complete, like in Dojin the Giant 2, which eventually came out on GameCube. That's still like $1,000 too. And I'm just not willing to do all of that for a system that I'm not going to play. So then I just got rid of the system and focused on completing my worldwide cart library.
That's fair, man. Yeah, if you're not going to play
Do you have mostly all the N64 games?
I have all of the North American ones, and I have all of the worldwide exclusives. So I have the handful of PAL exclusives, and then that Mahjong game I showed you was the last Japan exclusive I needed. I've got about
nice, man,
like 550 carts right now.
Holy shit! Pretty impressive.
What's
man.
If there's any game or like if there's any game or like demo or whatever I would ever love to get my hands on, it'd be the that playable Earthbound 64 demo they had at Space World 99 or 98 or whatever.
I feel like I text you about this too. This is another one of those big long rabbit holes that I've got myself like it's like it's my K-hole, my
my K-hole. Get in the car.
Because people keep talking about that, but you've never you've seen videos of it gameplay because there's about 20 minutes of actual but never. So they keep touting playable demo, but it was behind closed doors. There's no there's no footage anywhere of anybody actually playing the playable demo, which was a problem during the late 90s and early 2000s, because a lot of time playable demos were just like tech demos of characters on the screen, or like just a video that you could like click through of the world, and that was one of them. You cannot find, there is not footage anywhere on the internet of somebody physically playing that game, even though like Ito and Miyamoto said it was like 60 to 80% done. There is no footage anywhere of anybody playing that playable tech demo, and then it just disappeared. And they
Which game is it?
Mother 3.
60.
Yeah.
The 3. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. Like
Lucas.
I feel like that's like the biggest lie ever told.
Yeah. And then he made Ito Bass instead, a fishing game, which is actually really, really good. But that was his last N64 game, and then they moved Mother 3 to the Game Boy Advance, and that was kind of the end of it. So.
Luckily, though, a lot of Mother 3 on the Game Boy Advance uses a lot of what they made, or I guess what they were going to use for Earthbound 64 or Mother 3 or whatever the fuck. But
yeah, they used all the same story beats and stuff like that they had planned. But that was also a problem, was that Ito like saw how big the system was, and he was doing it like chapter, kind of like people playing Thousand Year Door Paper Mario right now, where everything is like, this is chapter 1 is one story, chapter 2 was a completely separate story, and he was making too big of a game, and that's why it was taking so long. And then when they figured out that maybe it wasn't going to work out, because that was also a DD game that was then canceled. But I mean, everybody got too ambitious. I honestly think that doing the DD is what really killed off the N64 and like the longevity and the library size and stuff, because everything was being dual made. Like like Kirby 64 and Mario Party 2 and Mission Impossible and freaking like Derby Stallion and Desimon, and even games like Automobili, Lamborghini, and games were all being made. They made like a DD version and then a cartridge version at the same time, because the developers had no idea if the DD was ever going to release. So they had to like make two versions of the game, one that fit on a cart and one that didn't. And that's how we had so many canceled, DD games and canceled N64 games, and games that went to GameCube, like Cubivore started on the DD, and then they just sent it to GameCube. And like Diablo was on the DD, and then they're like, all right, well, I guess it's just PC and PlayStation now.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
See, I think we're in a cool time too, because a lot of these, well, not a lot of these games, but some of these games are being dumped and stuff. Like, I'm super thrilled that I'm able to play Dinosaur Planet on my EverDrive, and I'm just running it on my actual N64. I've been playing through it. It's not Star Fox Adventures, but it is Star Fox Adventures. But I'm loving that it's not Star Fox Adventures. It's awesome.
Aaron, have you not seen that?
I didn't know they dumped a ROM of it. Like, I know all about Dinosaur Planet and Star Fox Adventures, but I had no idea they actually... Is it a full playable ass game?
It stops at about like 75%.
Yeah, but there's like an entire community about like I believe it's just a part you just can't get past, but like people are working on it to try and unlock the rest of the game, because the game is like basically done. It's interesting because it's like an in-between state between Dinosaur Planet and Star Fox Adventures. It's not fully Dinosaur Planet and it's not fully Star Fox Adventures. It's like sometimes you're referred to as Saber, but then when he starts talking, he's like, I'm Fox McCloud. And you're like, okay, but then you still have a sword, and it's like, it's awesome. I love it. It's just this weird thing, but the story is so different.
That is
like the whole beginning is completely different with Crystal. It's awesome.
That is awesome, man. And yeah, thank God for all the fan translations too, because there's a lot of really awesome games like Custom Robo that were only in Japan, but people put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into those translations, and thank fuck for that too.
And mods.
Thank God we got a translation of Denshin to Go.
Like, or
hey man, don't make me go get my Denshin to Go controller.
Go get it, Mike.
Super Mario Shotgun.
Go get it.
Is cool.
Well, that was easy.
You're making the poor man. Oh wait, I don't know if he's going up or downstairs. I think
He
I see
literally
stairs.
just
He's
back
not
there.
walks-
poor. You
he
see all those
literally just
fucking rare
walks in the
cards he's been
closet.
showing us? Man's not poor.
I meant like, I didn't mean like money poor. I meant like,
I'm not that money poor.
It's like, I had to sell my disc drive because the games were just too expensive.
it's not. It's
thought-
not
I
hard
thought-
to get a
for
hold
a
of.
second,
it's just
I thought you were-
expensive.
I thought you were trying to quote Dracula Flow again for a second.
Smoking Whoopi Goldberg.
I sold my 64 DD because she needed those DDs. What is that?
That's the train controller.
Oh,
It's a
that's
Denture the Go
awesome.
controller.
No way.
Ooh.
And then it's got this. So this is my thing. So it's got this nice little spot in the middle here.
For your foot?
No,
Some
not for
drink,
your foot.
couple
For your
Through these
beer.
Denture the Go exclusive pocket watches.
Oh
So
my
then you
God.
could keep track of the time because the game runs in real time. So like when the game is going and you want to be a real
What the
train
fuck?
conductor.
Oh
Why
Why does
my
Japan get all the
God.
cool shit?
Why do you have the watch? The watch too. That's very impressive.
I don't just have one. I have 4 Denture the Go pocket watches.
Oh, I wasn't expecting 4. Holy shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're really stupid hard to find because they didn't ever come with the game. Like they were almost never pack-ins. They were like one of them was like in a Denture to Go claw machine in an arcade, and you had to win it from a claw machine. And another one was like a special edition that came with gloves, so you could have conductor gloves and a conductor hat and the pocket
Jesus
watch.
Christ.
So you could never.
Dude,
so I
we-
keep hunting these pocket watches down because I like train games and pocket watches.
It's so funny. We were just dunking on like people that are super into trains with video game esoterica on our last episode of Retro Rehab.
Here we are, motherfucker.
Holy shit, boys. We're creeping up on, well, we're past 2 hours, I'm pretty sure, if you count
Oh,
the previous
shit.
recording. But,
I have
anything
like
else?
14 more pages of notes that I did for tonight. If you want to just go through all of them.
What was your? What was
Fuck.
your? You said that you prepared like a speech.
Well, I didn't prepare a speech. I just have something to say about a lot of things. So I always have to have something to say. You know.
Pick one last thing to go out on.
I don't know, man. Do you want to talk? I just did a post today on Wetrix. Do you want to talk about like?
Oh, fuck yes. I love Wetrix, dude. Fuck yes.
Well, like, do you guys know like Steve and John Pickford of they did Christ, what was that freaking game? Plork?
Plock on the
Plock?
SNES?
Yeah,
Plock?
Plock.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Plock, yes.
I love Plock.
Yeah, so they did. So anyway, they're part of a million games. They also did like Maximum Carnage, the like Genesis Spider-Man
They
game
did?
thing.
I didn't know that.
Yep, that was them too. Anyway, so they had their own company. They were developers at Software Creations, and they didn't really think that like that was cool, that they were innovating enough and doing enough in the next thing. So they just left and they formed their own independent company called Christ, I think it was Z2 was the name of that company. Anyway, so they made this game. They really like Gauntlet, like the original Gauntlet with all the enemies that are just like, you know, piling on you. So they made this game called Vampire
yeah.
Circus, which was like a 3D version of that. It kind of would look like Gauntlet Legends or like Reloaded or one of those games, but it was like 3D isometric hack and slash shooting, but Gauntlet. And they figured out that it was really fun to mess around with water using vectors and like different like levels on their 3D thing. So they started, you know, putting drops of water all over the place, and then it was like dipping down in the peaks and valleys of this level that they made for Vampire Circus. So they pitched it to a bunch of people. Nobody liked it, and eventually they got Ocean Software to look at it, and their developers and their receptionist actually played it so much that they got a call back for the game. So then Ocean Software took it. They took that tech demo, turned it into Wetrix. That's what we have when we play Wetrix now, is like an expanded version tech demo. And then they killed off Vampire Circus because they got licensing for Taz, and they turned Vampire Circus, the core of that game, into Taz Express, which is a European only N64 game. So
What the
one idea,
fuck?
which was water droplets on a field in a Gauntlet clone, turned into Wetrix and Taz Express, because that's how the N64 worked. Like everything, like nobody knew what they were doing, just like we didn't know what we were playing. nobody knew what they were developing for because Nintendo wasn't allowing people to have, the resources ahead of time. So people were developing on the fly for a system that was in market.
Yeah. So ridiculous. I remember hearing that
so crazy.
on an episode of Remember 64. We were talking about GoldenEye, and it was just like the things the team had to go through because they were told one thing about the specs of the console, so they developed for that, and then they get the actual console and they're like, oh, we have to scale this way back because this is nowhere near as powerful as we were promised. Yep. Or their limitations are just, it's like that. What was Nintendo thinking with that? I don't understand, but whatever. They made it work.
You make me want to play that Taz Express more now because Plock is seriously one of my favorite games on the SNES.
Well, Taz Express is nothing like it, so don't go in.
It's more he doesn't shoot his arms and legs off.
Yeah, no, you don't get to do any of that. It's like a I don't want to say puzzle platformer because it's not really a platformer, but like Jordan was talking about Charlie's Blast. It's kind of like that, like action puzzler, I guess. Like it's like all fetch quests. So if you like that stuff, yeah.
If you like fetch quests,
and
you don't love
obviously,
Taz.
And obviously it's in English.
I don't like fetch quests, but I like puzzlers.
Then you'll like
but I hate Taz.
But I hate Taz. I hate animals.
Man, that's
inspired by water.
But it's so fucking fun, dude. They made I think it's just Wetrix DX for the Dreamcast, and I mean it plays way better. But it's such a cool fucking game, dude. And like the announcer guy in the background, he's like, "Get in wet," and like just
oh man, we gotta get that for the soundboard.
One lake danger.
It's so good, man.
Let's just briefly mention the expansion pack. It was a thing.
Oh, duh, yeah, dude.
Doy.
There, that's it. We don't have to talk about that anymore. Nope, that's it.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say. It was a thing.
It didn't do anything for us.
Okay, no. Here's what it did for us. Okay, it was a level of prestige. Okay, if you had an expansion pack, you were the kid with one. You could pop off that little hood, and if it was red, you were cool. And if it wasn't,
like, hey,
you were poor.
Billy, check that shit out.
It's like popping the hood to your
Look at that.
See that fucking red under there? Huh? You got that? No, because your parents are unemployed. That's why you don't
play
got
a few games in high res. You know, 360p. I
can play Perfect Dark and co-op now. So what?
I feel like it's traditional on the SuperPod Saga for us to all talk about the things that Aaron made us prepare for, and then we never got to talk about. Like every episode I'm on, he's like, "All right, have this, and this," and then he goes off on a tangent for an hour 45, and then we have 15 minutes to talk about the stuff we actually prepared for. So does everybody have like their list of things they wanted to talk about? So then we know that this episode is all Aaron's fault and not the fault of any of the guests.
That's true. Hey, listeners, I suck. I'm really bad at podcasting. But Mike, you could put him in a blog on the website. I know you're doing
4
stuff.
pages. I got 4 pages of the best-selling Japanese games broken down by system and year.
Jesus.
So we could talk about why the N64 failed in Japan and not in the United States. And I also have a spreadsheet of the best-selling strategy guides of all
fucking
time.
Lord.
And then I have this other sheet over here.
Oh my gosh, he's still going.
Of all of the games that got moved from the DD to GameCube and Dreamcast.
Do you want to just be a new co-host on Retro Rehab or something? Like,
no, this is just how I prepare for podcasts because I don't want somebody to talk about something that I don't have my thoughts on paper for. So, or like not have a Densha controller if somebody calls me out about train games, or like not have a custom Robo figurine if somebody talks about my custom Robo game.
Oh shit.
Okay, wait. Here's something I want to know. I don't remember if we said this, but what's everyone's favorite game on the N64? Just like one game, and
this
I think
is the perfect
we know
way
Mike's,
to close
but
this out.
we'll let him answer just for whatever reason.
Just
I don't have a favorite game.
Okay.
I like them all.
Buck Bumble?
The whole library is worth playing.
Is it Taz Express?
It's not Taz Express.
I don't believe you.
Is it Wetrix?
Man, it's close.
I actually think I have to go with Mystical Ninja 64.
I would have never guessed that after you've brought it up 4 times now.
It's my thing. I bring it up as much as I can.
Yeah. Never saw that coming.
Man,
and Aaron's straight up said he's only played like 6 games, so
what?
He did say he was
Superman 64.
Yeah. Since his father got that PlayStation for him from a trucker, from a very reliable source.
That source was himself. It was the actual trucker. Bro.
It was Kaz Hirai.
What the fuck is that?
Who's like the president of Sony or PlayStation or whatever.
Oh, dude. I don't want your kids to play that piece of shit Nintendo. Buy this.
No. Don't give them an N64. Would you take this PlayStation? $100.
He's dressed like a trucker with Breaker 1
He has a fake mustache.
I almost did a pretty racist Japanese accent, but as a trucker, I controlled myself. But
I mean, I kind of did an accent.
The restraint that you're showing is admirable.
It's okay. It's okay.
Whatever.
That's okay. No, no one's thinking anything. Yeah. Man,
Banjo-Tooie.
I'd say run all 6 games through your head. Pick one.
Bro, I've played more than 6.
Should we start naming them for you?
Yeah.
Do I need to put you in timeout, Mike?
Super Smash Bros.
Dude, I'm a Quest fan. I exist in timeout. Like,
my entire existence is a timeout.
Yeah, I've spent this whole podcast making memes instead of paying attention.
No, you've been doing a great job, and we love you. I think.
Just say Mario 64. Just say it. Somebody has to
say
it.
Hey, hold on.
No one has to say it.
I think I'm going to go with either Mario Golf or Wave Race 64.
Wave Race?
Oh, you really like Wave Race, huh?
No, Dr. Mario 64. I lied. Dr. Mario 64.
You did mention that one.
Do you know that game got worse reviews than Quest 64, but everybody thinks it's like the best game of all time? Like EGM and Nintendo Power scored it lower than Quest 64, but nobody ever brings up Dr. Mario 64 in the worst games of all time.
I can pick a different game if you want.
No, I want you to pick that game because then you like a game that's obviously worse than Quest 64 based on the critical review of Quest 64 by everybody.
Please continue to rip me a new one. Please.
That's it. That's just. I mean, I have the scores too if you want to. I mean,
Okay. Jiggy, what's your favorite game? Please take the spotlight off of me.
Banjo-Tooie, hands down.
Oh, Banjo-Tooie? Hell yeah.
I love Banjo-Tooie. I love Banjo-Kazooie, but I love Banjo-Tooie. I love the giant interconnected worlds, and I love just getting lost and exploring for days. It's the best.
I've never played it.
Well, I have tons of content about it.
There you go.
Go look at my YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Banjo-Tooie and DK64 pretty much sums it up. There's other stuff too, but those are what matter.
Nice. Jerry, have you said yours yet? It's Mystical Ninja, right? Or
no.
Goemon 64.
No. Never even barely played that game ever in my life. Hardly. Yes, of course it's Mystical
It's Glover.
Okay.
It's Glover.
No, it's Taz Express. We've said this.
It's either like it's between Mystical Ninja and Ocarina of Time and Mario 64. Those are like the big ones for me.
Top 3.
And Mike's favorite is Harvest Moon. He talks about all the time. Harvest Moon official.
I do like Harvest Moon. Thank you.
Harvest Moon is good. No joke.
That
is good. Fuck.
Wait, Mike. What's the one game that you're like, man, that's the worst one?
I don't really like to do that. There's games that I don't enjoy. Like I don't like Polaris Snowcross. I don't like Dual Heroes. I don't really love PD Ultraman. But I'm sure there's somebody like me that's got X amount of copies of that stashed away somewhere in a really cool display in their living room and that think that it's the best game ever.
For sure. For sure. But I just want to know, because as someone who has the entire library, you're going through you're like, I have these PAL games, I have the Japanese games, I have all these. What's the one that you're just like, man, that's a stinker?
I just don't like. So I've always prided myself on being able to find something enjoyable.
Some joy.
Out of
Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate that.
Like even Superman 64, like I always say, those are like the
Flying around's
most
fun.
Yeah, it's the most
It's a
fun
sandbox.
flight mechanics of any superhero game I've ever played. Like, what's a game where you can fly and feel more like Superman than the controls in that game? Yeah, the rest of the game isn't like the greatest, but there was like, some experience in there that probably changed gaming at some point. And I guarantee the people who worked on those games were better for being involved in that, or at least knew how to like voice their opinions in gaming afterwards. So like, there's always something. There's got to be a Superman 64 official account waiting to happen. Somebody's got that in their brain, and they're just waiting to discover how to be on the internet.
Jesus Christ.
Every day it's just a picture of them flying through another ring.
Yeah, or fighting a tornado, or like smashing a computer. All things from Superman 64, which everybody should try one time.
I loved playing the training mode, picking up a car and just flying as far as I can, and then just throwing it.
That's another game, though. If you've never played that multiplayer, you need to play that multiplayer with your friends, because it's awesome. The multiplayer is fun because it's the same game for everyone. It's like it's a level playing field. Sometimes not good games are the best multiplayer ones, because it's not just a single player experience playing a game that you perceive as subpar. It's everybody trying to figure out how to be the best at this game that they all think is subpar. That like, just like playing a game you don't understand in a language you don't understand, it breeds a lot of innovation in your brain for how to win a game. So try Superman 64 multiplayer one time with somebody else, and I guarantee you'll have a good time.
We dare you.
That's it for the show today. That's the N64.
That's it.
That's everything. There's literally nothing else to discuss about it, because we discussed everything. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the DDR, but I mean, maybe next time.
I love that Mike's being all passive aggressive. No.
I mean, what if I wanted to
We didn't talk about 8 pages of my notes, but
yeah, I mean, you told me to come prepared, and then you didn't care.
You still did a great job. We all did a great job. Hey, pat yourselves on the back, gentlemen. I'm trying to pat myself real loud so you can hear it. You can. Yeah.
I just gave myself a look back instead.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Did you give yourself a Jiggy look back?
No, just a regular one.
You gave a little Jiggy look back. It's like a normal look back, but with a little extra,
Yeah, I didn't put the sauce on it. So
Hell yeah.
normal
Aaron,
look back.
Yes.
Dip the sauce out. Get us out of here.
All right. That's Gerry, go ahead and is there anything that you want to fuck? Not Gerry, Jiggy.
He just told you to get you out of here. You
He's
do
like,
it.
Take our sauce, whatever, end it. And you're like, yeah, you end it.
You're the host now, right?
No, you end it.
Okay.
No, you hang up.
My bad.
No, you hang up.
I didn't go to sleep so fucking bad, bro. Okay. Yeah, that's it for the show, everybody. Listeners, thanks for coming in to hang out. Go check out Quest 64 Official and Jiggylookback. And of course, check them out. And of course, go listen to Retro Rehab and Super Ghost Radio. Links for everybody in the description below. Everybody gets a link in the not the description below, but like in the show notes. But
yeah, physically below you right now, wherever you're sitting.
Yeah, underneath
under your
seat.
Everybody gets a description.
Everybody gets a link in the comments underneath.
But thanks for listening. Leave a rating / review, whatever the hell you're on. Support the show on Patreon, $2-4 a month. Get some cool fucking stuff. Like we be pumping out bonus content like a motherfucker. Put a lot of hard work into this goddamn show. Go subscribe to Patreon, or I'm gonna be really mad with you. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
And if you subscribe to his highest tier, I will send you a personalized Quest 64 meme tonight. But you have to do it tonight.
Ooh.
Right now.
You hear that, listeners? Tonight.
Whenever tonight is. Because, I'm sure he's going to edit this right now.
Totally. All 2.5 hours.
Also, check out the superpotnetwork.com for all of the shows that we mentioned earlier, Super Ghost Radio, Retro Rehab, and this one, and many more under one umbrella.
That's right. Just a billion blogs going on. All of our stuff is there. But yeah, seriously, thanks for hanging out, listeners. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.